Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land, where you come every Monday to Thursday for your top stories from Israel. And before we get to updates on Operation Olive Branch, it has been reported that the latest death toll from the deadly quakes that struck Turkey and Syria are at 17,500. This number is expected to increase. Meanwhile, Operation Olive Branch continues. Yesterday, we brought you news that another delegation, this time of 250 troops and medical personnel, were going to depart for Turkey to set up a field hospital at the request of the Turkish government. Well, 15 cargo planes and all those personnel have landed in Turkey, and the field hospital is operational. Yesterday, addressing media, the head of Israel's national rescue effort, Colonel Golan Vach, said that as of last night, Israel's delegation of search and rescue personnel was the largest on the ground, and that our ability to deploy very, very quickly, be on the scene and work very quickly is one of the reasons that Israel has recovered the most civilians that have been found alive. It's really extraordinary, and just as an Israeli civilian, it's such a matter of great pride to watch the best of Israel in operation on the ground. The IDF has been joined by so many NGOs, including Zaka, including ICL, a search and rescue team that deploys out by the Dead Sea, and even Harel Insurance. This is one of the big insurance companies in Israel. They have deployed their rescue team as well. Meanwhile, some very, very sad news, as the leader of the tiny Jewish community in Antakya and his wife have been recovered by Zaka and IDF search and rescue personnel. May their lives and their memories and the memories of all who have lost their lives, both in Syria and in Turkey, be for a blessing. Colonel Vach went on to say that the first 72 hours after the earthquake has struck is very, very critical, and time is steadily running out. Meanwhile, Israel has been hit by 3 small earthquakes over the last 48 hours, which has prompted our Home Front Command here in various municipalities to issue preparedness warnings for Israeli civilians. The Spanish city of Barcelona has voted to end ties with Israel. Barcelona's mayor says that apartheid Israel is intolerable, and the twinning agreement between Barcelona and the city of Tel Aviv will be ended. The Jewish community of Spain have called this move anti-Semitic, and I would caution the mayor of Barcelona against using vile and anti-Semitic epithets like apartheid, because as a South African, I know full well what apartheid was. I live in Israel, and Israel is most certainly not an apartheid state. A very controversial bill has been introduced at the Knesset by the leader of Shas, Aryeh Deri. Deri made headlines just a couple of weeks ago, where the Supreme Court voted that he cannot be a minister in the government because of his previous criminal conviction. Nevertheless, this hasn't stopped Deri from putting forward this very, very controversial bill. He wants to enforce heavy penalties for anybody who is dressed immodest at the Kotel, the Wailing Wall, and any woman who is caught wearing a prayer shawl could be fined up to 10,000 shekels or be sentenced to time in jail. It is believed that this is part of a campaign by Deri and Shas to stop the activities of Women of the Wall, a organization that seeks egalitarian prayer at the Wailing Wall. Egalitarian prayer has been an ongoing issue, and any attempts to stop at least some dedicated place for people who believe in egalitarian prayer has created a large chasm between the ultra-religious and the more secular, not just here in Israel, but amongst Jewish communities around the world as well. Benny Gantz, the head of the National Unity Party, has said that no Jew and no stream of Judaism has the monopoly or owns the Kotel. And these are similar sentiments that have been expressed coming from members of the Likud party who are against Deri's proposals. And in our final story, we have been speaking a lot about the proposed judicial overhaul. This time, over 50 economists from US-based universities, including 11 Nobel Prize winners, have written a letter to Prime Minister Netanyahu cautioning against the judicial overhauls, saying that it is vital for there to be an independent judiciary with a system of checks and balances, and any attempts to undermine it does a great disservice and dilutes not only democracy but prevents the economy from having stability and growth. Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands are expected to march on the Knesset on Monday when the bill to propose the overhaul of the Supreme Court goes to vote. And those are our top stories as we head into the weekend. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online and check out our Facebook page at Lottel's site. Come and wish us Shabbat Shalom. And while you're there, like us, follow us, share our content. Our YouTube channel, as always, is at the Israel Brief, and we're steadily growing. So, guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please consider hitting that red subscribe button. And we're on Twitter at layoftheland5. I'm Rolene Marks, wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Shabbat Shalom, and I will see you right here on Monday for your top stories.